Just, just to say, here's my friend Marco, and he's come all the way with his sister to give another presentation here. Just last time Portugal, before in Iceland. So even so, he's the last one really who has much to learn. So it's good. Brazil, Holland, everywhere. So thank you.
So good morning. I hope you like what I'm about to say, because sometimes I'll go way off. So if you see me going way off on one side and very fast, just say, "Oh, Marco, slow down," okay? So first of all, I have to talk a little bit about myself, because we were talking about know yourself. So when Kiran says you have to lose all to understand all, it's a little bit true. I think it's the best way to understand. So what happened to me very fast, since I was little, I know how to treat people. Don't ask me why or how, but when I look to a person, I know what's needed, and that's easy for me. So it's very easy to understand that since I was little, everyone was always putting pressure on me to become the saint, to become a good person, to become a good man, to become the best boyfriend. And I felt that pressure, and I love that pressure, really, because it's just like I need to feel that. That's what we think we know about ourselves, you know? Just like Kiran showed that picture, we are very sure about ourselves, like, I know this is my life. It's not my life, it's the life everyone wants you to have. So what happened to me is very easy to understand. So I was doing my practice, I was not working with CoRe yet. I didn't even know CoRe yet. So what happened was, I started my practice, I was working on people, only doing osteopathy, breaking bones and putting it in places, and with some success. Okay, so then I started working in Portugal with the CoRe system. Not me, but in a clinic that was using the CoRe. And the first time I met CoRe, I was like, oh come on, this is not able to treat cancer. Imagine, you are so into it that you're so stuck that you don't even allow yourself to, let's imagine that it can. Try it, and then you just say, it is impossible. So the first time I saw the CoRe system, I was like, come on, it's just a little machine. Come on, what it makes, it does placebo. It gives some shocks, people think they're doing something, and maybe some have some results because they start on a self-healing process, and that's it. But after 1 month, I was looking people that were very sick, very bad, getting up and getting out, and I was like, oh my God, I want a machine for me. So imagine, the person I was working with at the time said, I won't sell you at this moment. And I said, okay, no worries. Then I had time to raise some money to buy my first car, and I bought a car for 42,500 euros, so thank God I had that time to join that money. But still for me, I thought, this is a bargain. I am getting a great machine only for this? Perfect. So what happened was, during these moments, I was working my ass off so I could earn money, so I could buy the CoRe system.
He just charged double of what we charged him. This distributor is not longer a distributor, but he brought, that's the best thing, he brought Marco.
And we were working, and I was working too hard, and I was doing my practice. I was being still the best boyfriend ever. I was doing everything I could to make everything together, you know, running around, doing everything I can. So what happened was, one by one, everything started to shut down. The first thing that happened, of course, my relationship. Imagine, the girl I was dating for 4 years, that I was living together, I was like, okay, this is the best I can have. Imagine, it was not because I loved her, because I still love her. It's a feeling that we all share with each other. But this is the best I can have. So you said it. So you stay, like he said in the beginning, the people on top, they started to settle like, this is the best I can have, so just let me do it. So when I thought to myself, I'm going to propose to her and ask her to marry me, I didn't ask her to marry me on that day, because she was doing the birthday in 3 weeks, so I imagined, what a best present for her. I am going to propose in front of everyone with a beautiful ring. So you're already laughing because you already understand what's happening. it's even worse than what you thought. So what's happening is, 1 week before her birthday, out of the blue, she walks up to me and says, "You're not, I need a time." And I was like, "Sorry? What?" "No, I really need a time. I think we're not supposed to be together. So I need time to understand myself and to do this." And I was like, "Okay." First slap. Strike two is on the night of her birthday, she was already with another person. Strike two. Still, I was on my feet. I did not went down there. I went down 1 week later, because the best way for you to say I'm moving from one Ferrari to a donkey is destroy the Ferrari. So I used drugs. So I beat her up. So I was completely crazy. So I was a lot of bad things. And that really, everything I thought I was disappeared. So what I do is what most people do. Go to work. Why? Because while you're working, you're not feeling anything. So as you see, I'm very fat. So imagine me with 10 kilos less. That happened. Why? Because I was working 18 hours a day. I didn't need to eat. I didn't need to stop for food. I didn't need to stop for sleep, because I couldn't sleep. So I was passing through the major depressions I think it can have. So it was very hard for me that moment. And all of a sudden, my father, the person that doesn't believe in doctors or anything, grabs me one day and he says, "You need to come with me." And he takes me to a psychologist. I only went to a psychologist once, and only for 10 minutes, so, and it was that moment. Funny story is, I treat the entire family.
Of the psychologist.
Of the, yeah. So, and the boy just won the European Jiu-Jitsu tournament. He stayed in 3rd place. Imagine, with a problem with his neck, with his leg, that I worked on the day before. So I sit down, and she said, "So Marco, what do you like?" And that hit me, that question. I was like, what do I like? I was 24 years old, and I didn't know what I liked. The best thing I could say is like, I like to smoke water pipe. And that's it. And even that was something that my ex-girlfriend gave it to me. So imagine, I was like, the best thing I can say about myself, I like to smoke water pipe. That hit me really hard. And then she said, "Why don't you stop for a week and just smoke water pipe? Or do whatever you want?" And that's what I did. I stopped working for 1 week and do absolutely nothing. But I cannot sit at home doing nothing, watching TV and smoking water pipe. So I started working again after 1 week. Still almost not eating, still almost having a lot of problems, because the problems won't go away. Never. You'll always have problems in your life. The way you deal with it, that's completely different, and I'll show it to you on my next lecture. So what I started to do, I started to do something that I liked, and I enjoyed walking. So I started walking every day. Every morning, 1 hour before, I would stand up and go walking to a beach we have 10 kilometers away. It's 1 hour away, back and forth. Then I would go home, take a shower, go to work. When I come home at night, what would I do? I would go to walk. So I understand when Kiran gets up at middle of the night and just go walking. Something that, if you haven't done it, do it. No music, no nothing. It's the best thing you can have, because after 15 minutes, your mind shuts down. It has nothing more to say. So you start to feel everything. You start to feel that noise. You start to hear that sound that you never heard before. And that's where I started. Imagine, at this moment, the person I was working with said, "Do you want to buy a CoRe system?" And I say, "Hell yeah. Right now, right here." So the CoRe system comes to me in the worst time of my life. Nowadays I say, it's the best time of my life, because it allowed me to know who I am today. Very important. Pain is part of the process. Never forget this. So I bought my CoRe system, and I was so weak that I couldn't drive. So I asked my cousin to go with me. And my cousin was, "Are you completely sure about what you're doing?" And I was, in my completely crazy state, say, "Hell yeah!" And he was like, "Really? Mark, you're spending the entire money you have on this." And I say, yeah, but I know this is part of my way. Nowadays, my cousin works for me, so I think I know. So this is to cut a big story short. Pain is part of the process, and know yourself, because pain creates a reset, and everything you think you are means you're nothing. If you think you're something, then you're way, way off about yourself. Really way off. So, in my clinic, I practice this. My practice is not osteopathy, is not CoRe system, is not anything. It's just understand people. And people have one thing, emotions. Okay? But that's me talking about what I do. It will be taught on Thursday, I think. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I do in my clinic, as you can see, I started on a small space that has almost space for nothing, and nowadays I have a 250 square meter clinic, doctor clinic. I spent 9 months struggling against the doctors because the committee in Portugal is very strict about this. If you want to have an appointment office, there's no problem. In 1 week, everything okay. To open a clinic, a medical clinic, I spent 9 months. Especially it's something that they don't know what it is. So, but I spent 9 months struggling, paying the bills and everything, just to make sure everything is okay like they wanted. So nowadays I have 7 rooms, all working. If I had one more CoRe system, I would have another room working, but I don't have any more space. So I think I need a bigger clinic. See? So I work with 3 CoRe systems, 1 BBR, and 1 machine that I use for triage, for diagnosis, for giving the first step of information. Okay? And osteopathy. That's something I do since I was a little kid. So, when a person goes to my clinic, or calls to my clinic, or sends an email to my clinic, and then I respond to the email, sorry, no appointments here, you have to call, and then they have to call to make an appointment. Usually they spend like 1 month holding on to make the diagnosis. Only the diagnosis. So
Why? Because you're so busy? Or?
Yes, because we have so much work. Unless they call and say, please, 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 and they call the next day, please, please, please. Then you see one thing. People are in pain and really need help. First of all. Second of all, there's one thing. You have to give, yes. But also the patient has to give. And it's not only the money. It's giving him. I want you to fix me. I want you to treat me. But he wants it. Okay? So when we do the diagnosis, when we give the first information to the person, you need to understand what's that. Because some people write down on my form reason for appointment, and some people just put curiosity. They want to go there and make sure that you know what you're doing. And for your patients, I think that's also something that you need to do. You know. So some people put curiosity, and the strangest thing happened last week before I came. I want to know Marco. It was the first patient, so I enjoyed that, and this something we laugh about it in the clinic. So when I sat down in front of the person, I was talking this yesterday. I have a person that does the analysis. It only does the analysis. Then I go in and I make the diagnosis because I don't have the time to be there waiting for it. No, because during that time, I'm starting a CoRe treatment, I'm going to osteopathy, maybe starting a BBR, and then I go inside the diagnosis room. And then I go to the CoRe system, and then I go to the osteopathy. You see, running around, always. I have another person who works with me, Nancy. She's also a good therapist, a very good therapist. So when I sit down in front of the person goes, "So you're Marco." And why? Because as you see me here, it's how I work in my clinic. No white coat, no stethoscope, no Dr. Marco, anything. I'm just Marco. I hate when you have to say, "Doctor." No, for me it's Marco. We are all the same. Never forget that. And I say this because you need to look the patient in the eye, and they have to understand that you're also a human being. You also understand what pain is. Because if you understand what pain is, you understand their pain. And you make the connection there. Okay? Very important, this part. For all the therapists.
What's the difference? If
you sit down and you look the person in the eye, the person understands that there's a human being behind it. Behind what they hear, there's also a person. that understand what pain is. Okay? And then you start doing the diagnosis. Why the first shock? The first shock is because I work with a person that's my brother-in-law. He is Ricardo. So Ricardo is always wearing a nice jacket, sometimes he even wears a tie and everything. And he sits down and people think, this is Marco. And all of a sudden the guy goes out, now this is Marco. And I sit down and say, hello. And people are like, so you see, this creates interference. Of course, this is the elite. You can say whatever. But first of all, it's just a shock. Because they think they're being treated by someone who is respectable. And I appear there with beard for 4 days old and some wacky t-shirt with some saying, stupid saying on it. And people go, is this guy going to treat me? Really. So do never care about your appearance. Never. Never. Because it's important. Very important. Because all of a sudden they say, after I spoke to them 10, 15 minutes later, even if it's a cancer, if it's multiple sclerosis, or just a damn cold, something that's very fixable, people get out saying, I know you're going to treat me. Why? Because I look them in the eye, and first of all, I make them understand one thing very important. No matter what the disease is, I don't care about that. I care about the person, the entire person. Okay? And with the CoRe system, you have the basic possibility to do that. Okay? And that's incredible. Because the CoRe system also says one thing that Kiran said the first time we met. Time, space, they don't exist. And that's true. When I sat down in front of a person, the person immediately knows that in the end, it will all be okay. So that's what CoRe does. Imagine. The BBR is even more powerful because the BBR makes a different kind of connection. Then when I'm doing the appointments, regardless of what the machine tells me, and I make the diagnosis, then I decide. You go to CoRe system, you go to BBR, or you just go to osteopathy. Then I understand what I have to do to that person. Okay? I also knew it before, but now with the machine, people stay very, very happy about it. So
to explain this, in what way does looking at the screen help you, or do you do anything with it, or what?
Sometimes I don't spend almost any time. Like the machine is like this, and I'm looking at the person and speaking and writing, and saying what's there, and just saying what the person has.
So, but then they say, well, CoRe is not doing anything. It's the,
no,
the magician Marco. We want to know what.
No, it's not with the CoRe yet. It's not with the CoRe yet. That's only the diagnosis. That's only the first part of the problem. Because I have so many people that I have to make.
And you don't care much about the diagnosis. No, exactly. This is one thing. The
diagnosis is nothing, because what you're here today, tomorrow it's nothing. Never forget this. You're not treating the symptoms. You're treating the causes, like Dr. Steve said yesterday. You're treating the causes. And if you treat the causes, all the 1,000 symptoms disappear. So instead of having 1,000 appointments, it's very bad for your bank account. Very bad. My bank account doesn't like me that much. You just need to have 3 treatments. In 3 treatments, I have cancers that went away. Imagine. People who were very sick, and people that I even thought when I was treating, I'm not going to do anything to this person. And 1 month later, 4 treatments later, 4 hours later, poof, no more cancer. So it happens, and it happens a lot. So when you're doing a CoRe treatment, sometimes I don't even speak to the person. Sure, the person is coming in and is going to lay down, and I only ask him, so how do you feel today? How are you feeling? How was the last week? And they're saying, and they're sitting, and then I have a machine that lays you down, and you're sitting with the fists. And then I say, okay, I have to go now, bye. So sometimes I just spend 5 to 10 minutes in the room. Deborah knows this. I treated her, and it's like this. My sister knows this, and everyone who goes to my clinic says, no, we don't talk that much. You don't need to talk that much. You just let the system work, and don't worry about it. Make sure of one thing, you're doing the best you can. And if you make sure about this, you can go lay down on that night knowing I did the best I can. And that's knowing yourself. Do the best you can and don't worry about anything else. Be pure-hearted and do the best you can. Something that the Buddhists say, right? Be the best person you can be. Always with a pure heart. So my intention is exactly like that. I want to treat someone. They come to me, so okay. Easy, huh?
Very, very easy. That's what I wanted everybody to hear, yes, also.
It's very simple, very easy. It's not because I'm like Sandra, you psychic. No, I don't do tarot reading. No, nothing at all. I just sit and smile at people. And what happens is they get better. Why? Because I look into inside their souls. And it's very easy because the CoRe allows you to do that. When you reach the informational field, if you're able, you can understand everything that that person is passing through right now. Okay?
And do you have people where you already know very quickly that probably you will not be able to help them? Or what kind of people is this? Like Steve said, it's like people who have doctors in their family.
No.
Or, no.
Still today, even when I think this is going to be hard and maybe I cannot do anything, I surprise myself. Even people who go there, very septic. I love the septic ones. For me, the septic ones are the best ones. You know why? Because after the result, they cannot say it's a matter of faith, or it's SIBO, or it's faith healing. Why? Because they're healed. And they don't believe in anything. So that's why I say the BBR is the next new thing. Why? Because with the CoRe system, you treat them. With the BBR, you can send them on their way home again. And when you send them to their way home again is where? Know yourself. Feel yourself. Sense yourself. And when you do that, you create a connection to God. Really. Your faith is restored. It doesn't matter what religion, what credo, whatever you think, you know. After the process, you create a bridge to some kind of spirituality of your own. Okay? And it doesn't matter whatever you think about it.
And you said something that, because I'm so much the lover of laser and I can dismiss almost everything else, and you said, no, you think the Health Navigator, the other part has also some importance. So what did you say about this, or what do you think?
With the Health Navigator, imagine, the BBR is great. Don't take me wrong, it's the very best new thing, and it's not because I'm a salesman, okay? Because I'm the worst salesman ever. Because I tell you don't need half of the things. Okay, it's killing
and
me.
Everybody has it here already.
Ah, good, okay, so no problem. Good, you have it all. With the Health Navigator, you have the ability to treat 3 to 4 causes at the same time, you know? Very fast, very potent. But then the BBR makes the connection and it doesn't allow you to return to that problem again. So the BBR, it's something that allows you to take the next step in your life. But first of all, you have to understand that you have to have both feet here. Because if you're here and you're there and you're there, you're nowhere. And if you're nowhere to be found, you have nowhere to start the race to where you want to go. So the CoRe system is to stabilize people. But BBR makes you take the next step. And the next step. One point that I have, I don't have publicity. So if I have 2 months in back, because if a people wants an appointment, he has to wait for 2 months, imagine. And I'm treating 60 to 70 people a day in my clinic. 12 to 14 hours a day. What's happening? Something is happening. But with this kind of integration, what's happening is one thing that I believe and really feel, and I think Kiran feels the same way, is that this is creating a connection between all the people. You know why? Because I also disagree when most of the people there in Kiran starts, oh no, you're wrong. Why? Because people go and say, no, people don't want to be healed. That's not true. Everyone who goes to your clinic can have no faith, can have nothing, but if they go there, it's because they want to be treated, they want to be healthy, they want to be okay. Even if they say they don't, that's not true. Everyone wants to. Everyone wants to live longer. Everyone wants to have a good life. Everyone wants to enjoy life. Okay?
Yeah, like this. idea of self-sabotaging is just a protection of the
it's
therapist.
Yes, it is a protection, because they already been hurt so many times before that they don't know what to do next. So the BBR is great because it allows you to break that pattern. It allows you to, oh, I don't want to be there again. So instead of getting bitch slapped, you just moved away and, oh, nothing touched me. Imagine. So when that happens, when those people come to me, when you ask me that question, I say, that's not true. There is, I have 90% of results. Still, 10%, they're dying and they're not getting better. Why? Two things. First of all, they already get there in a state that's incredible. No lungs, no heart, no liver, nothing is working. So, and still, we say, let's do it. And even if they don't make it, at least I make sure of one thing, they have a good quality of life. Because they start eating again, they start having a life again. Okay? And the other part, there's only 5% and 5%. The other part is those that go there and say, I don't care about this at all. Why? Because, like I told you, if you want to, you have to do something. So when you do the analysis, I only give them two things to do. Drink water, 1.5 liters a day, and to make a diet, a simple diet, that only says what you cannot eat. If it's not there on that list, you can eat all, but you cannot eat what's there on that list. And if they are not even able to do that, then I say, okay, you're not putting an effort into it. Yeah. And it's the same thing, like, I came here and you asked me, oh Marco, can you please treat me? And I say, I don't care about that today, okay? Then that's not true. Because the first person who has to deal with your sickness is yourself. That's why I give everything to the person and say, now you go home and you do part of the job. I'll do my 50, you'll do your 50, and together we'll be 100. That's the only 5% that's not working.
And we are doing very good together, huh? Thank you. And this was your best so far, and it's getting better every time, I can say this. And you know, it's because
BBR.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. Because it's, you see, we went through the same thing, and we have the same mission, and that's why we are doing this together. Thank you. Okay, let's go now to the tigers and elephants and really make the test.